questions do you have for me on the limits? 4.1. Yes. Number 9, you got it. Okay, so this is kind of unique on this. We're saying, hey, we're going to positive infinity, 3 over x plus 1. Okay, this is a really good one. So let's think about this, not even graphically. As I plug larger and larger numbers in, the smaller and smaller the fraction goes. Like if I plug 1 in, I get 3 over 2. And then I can get like 3 over 5, 3 over 100, 3 over 1,000, 3 over 10,000, 3 over a million, 100 billion. So what would like 3 over like 100 trillion be really close to? Infinity, yeah, kinda. Think about this. As this gets larger, so, you had 3 over 4, maybe you had 3 over 200, 3 over 1,000, 3 over 243,284. This is getting really close to 0. As far as, because the denominator is getting large fast. Okay? So my limit in this case is just going to be 0. We're going to get really close to 0. We're never going to get there. So you just have to be aware of that. Okay? I like your million thought, because a lot of times in math, when you have limits that are either going to infinity or negative infinity, there's mainly 3 answers that you're looking at. It's going to go to infinity, it's going to go to negative infinity, or it's going to go to 0. That's for the most part what you do. Okay? Cool. Yeah?
Could you just run through the answers number 1?
Number 1. Okay, yeah. All right, so let me just try and draw some sort of event. Let's start at 5. That's 2, 3, and a solid dot like that. Okay, so I believe these are supposed to have arrows, meaning it continues. So you're seeing all the action that's taking place. So the limit as x goes to 0 from the negative side. So as I go to 0 from the negative side, it's following this up. So it is of h at x. We are getting to 5. That's the y value. Okay? And I'm going to go down the screen. Limit as x approaches. Oh, wait. We did the negative side. It was this side. This was coming from the negative. And then from the positive, we're coming here. So limit as it goes from the positive side of h at x is also equal to 5. And then the last one says, hey, what's the limit as x goes to 0? And this is going for both sides. So being that both of these were the exact same because I came to the same y value, this limit exists and it would be 5. If those two went to 2 different points, then they will not work. Okay? h at 3 is here. So we're going to go up till we find a solid dot. That solid dot appears to be 5. H at 0. At 0, we're right here. So that's up at 5 as well, even though my graph doesn't look like it. H at negative 2. So h at negative 2, this is the exact value, so that'll be 0. And then we're going to go to the 3. So the limit as x goes to 3 from the negative side of h at x. So as I go to, so I'm coming from here, coming down this. So I'm getting to 2. But as I go to the next one, it says limit 3. As x goes to 3 from the positive side of h at x, that means I'm coming from here, okay, as far as the graph goes, and that takes me to 5. And that means that the limit as x approaches 3 from both sides of h at x, this does not exist. It does not exist because the limit from the negative side was one number, the limit from the positive side was another number. That means those two limits, these do exist. This one does not. That won't exist because of that. That help you on that? Cool. Yeah.
So if you're coming from like a negative side, does that mean you're going?
You're coming from the left going to the right. Okay. And that's what graph the graph sometimes, especially in this case, will be jumbled. It's called a piecewise function.
So if you're going from the left to the right, why is it 2 and not 5?
Let's see where.
Shouldn't it be 5 and the other one be 2?
Let me see where. Limit of 3. So this right here means I'm going like this way, coming from the negative, so I get to 2 in the y direction. So I'm coming from the left to go to the right.
Okay.
This one, if I'm coming from the positive, means I'll be on this graph going this way.
So positive is
from the right. So you're coming from positive infinity or negative infinity, basically what you're thinking about. I guess we could say this means I'm coming from the left. I'm going left to right. This one means I'm going right to left. And this one means I'm coming from both sides. So that's why if it goes to two different numbers, from the left to the right, it would not exist from both sides. Okay? Any other questions for me? Seem okay? Everyone's fine, content, happy? No one's sad? All right. So, need to bring this up, show you real quick. So we have another Schoology quiz, which the nice thing about Schoology quizzes is they are we're not in stats, we're in business calc. So if you go to business calc, so there's 3 of you that still need to do this quiz here. Okay, and let me just scroll down. So there's 3 of you that still need to complete this quiz. Please get this done, if you're one of the 3 that didn't get it done, get it done, and I'll put it in the grade book. Right now it's counting as a 0, you don't want that. We have a limits quiz that will open, I believe I have it opening tomorrow at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be due Friday, this coming Friday, 11:59. It's resumable, so you don't have to be like, oh, okay, I have to give up half hour to do this quiz. Nice thing is you're doing it at home, get together with friends, figure it out, get it done. I mean, obviously, if you're working with 5 people in this class, don't submit one for 5 people, all 5 of you do it. I just need to warn you that I do have the questions are randomized. So your problem number 1 might be your friend's problem number 7, so on and so forth. Does that make sense? But you can go backwards and forwards. It's resumable, so if you don't get it all done in one sitting, please make sure it's done. But that's what we have. And I can't say there's probably not a whole lot of complaints about something that's going to be a little bit done at home. I think you have to write in the answers or type in the answers. So if the answer is -5, then you put -5. And I don't think it'll grade it right for you right away because a couple of them I have to go in and just spot check, make sure it's right. Because if the answer is supposed to be -5 and you want -5, it's going to count it wrong until I mark it correct. So just know that. So it should not be too tough. Let's see. This week we have, so everyone know where to find that? Feel comfortable with it? Just know this, there will be more videos below this. So, the puzzle piece means the quiz, the chain link means those are links to the lessons that we taught. Okay, so that's what's available for you. Let's take a look, if you would. Turn your page, and I'm looking for a page that says limits warm-up. And I'm going to walk through, take a look at number 1A through H. Number 1A through H. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to kind of do my best artistic rendition of this, which is not going to be good, but okay. I think that's kind of close to our problem. This looks like this would be at about 1. This is -1. This is -1 here. Okay. Questions about A through H that I can help you with? What kind of things do you see on any of those? And then again, we're on the limits warm-up page. Anything 1 through A through H, you feel comfortable with it? Going once. Going twice. All right, sold. All right, if we need to go back, we can go back to it. Problem number 2, they give us this equation. Okay, anytime you see two polynomials, so like x squared, x third, whatever that, what you want to do is you want to factor them first. Okay, so the factored version of the top is going to be and then I bet you we could factor out on bottom. And I bet you we could factor that a little bit further on top. That's going to be x minus 3 and x minus 1. And on bottom we have x minus 3, x plus 1. So the main thing that you have to be cautious of is make sure you get any greatest common factors, GCFs, taken out first. If you have a hard time doing this, if you were to graph it, you would find on Desmos, you would find that it crosses at 3 and at negative and at +1, so that's how I get these binomials. If I did the bottom, it's going to do this. Now, is there anything that I can cancel out just as we look at it? Yeah, the x minus 3's cancel out, and it's good to do that before you start doing any of the limits. Okay? All right, so now because I had canceled stuff out, that means limits now can exist. Okay? Especially with the 3. If I had the original 3 and plugged it into the original, I'd get 0 in the denominator. Now if I plug 3 in, I don't have 0 in the denominator. So if I wanted to do letter A, the limit as x approaches 3 from the positive side of f at x, okay? Right now, it doesn't really matter because I'm not looking at a graph about the positive, okay? What's nice about this is I can just do a direct substitution with the 3 and plug it in. So that's going to give me, that's a 2, and get 4/4. So the limit here becomes 1. Okay. Notice I did it the same way. If this is a positive or a negative or just nothing, it's going to be a direct substitution for the most part. So letter A, letter B, and letter C are all the exact same answer on number 2. And then if I did letter C, sorry about that, it says the limit as x goes to -1 from the positive, and then as the negative, and then from both sides. So this is where we have to be a little bit more cautious, because right now we're going to get this as our equation. If I take -1 and plug it in, my denominator is going to become equal to 0. So we don't want that. Okay? So it becomes a better idea then to go ahead and graph it so you can kind of take a look at the graph. And this might tell us a few things. So we're going to go to our friend, the Desmos family. what did I do? 2x minus 1, x plus 1. Just make sure I have that minus 1 on top, plus 1 on bottom. I got it. All right, so now we're looking at -1. So a couple ways we can do this is I'm going to go x equals -1. And I'll darken it a little bit so we can see it a little better. Okay, so as I approach -1 from the positive side, so this is my -1, this blue line. As I come from this side, where is this going? Which infinity? -infinity. Agree? This one, as I get to -1 coming from the negative side, where is this going? Positive infinity. So the answer to C is -infinity. The answer to D is positive infinity. So the limits when you're bounding it from one side to the other are existing. But if I come together and I'm approaching from the left and to the right, I go to -infinity for one of them, I go to positive infinity for the other one. So that means that the limit does not exist on letter D. Does that make sense? The reason it doesn't exist is because as I came from the left, I went one way. As I came from the right, I went another way. And that means that the limit coming from both sides won't exist. It does exist if you go from one side or the other. Okay? So, all right. So, give you guys and girls some time to get this all done. Happy to help you. Limits warm-up will be checked off tomorrow. Okay, there is a front. See you soon. Thanks for coming in. The back is blank. So that means there's nothing on the back. So you have the rest of the period to get a good start on that, get it done. Any questions for me? When does the quiz open by chance? Tomorrow about 3 o'clock. When is it due? Friday. And again, friends, if you go and look at my grade book and you see a 0 for the first quiz, doesn't mean you earned a 0. It just means you hadn't done it. So go into Schoology. It should be open still. If you ever come across anything goofy, you can send me a message through Schoology or through regular email. And happy to make any corrections that need to be made. Sound good? All right.